Hello there, you're watching Left, Right and Centre on NDTV. I'm Maha Siddiqui. The pictures that you see on your television screens and those right behind me are of India's national capital, Delhi. The deluge and inundation leaving parts of the city in chaos today. And mind you, these are not all low-lying areas, but some like the ones that we will just show you from civil lines in North Delhi are affluent areas which are believed to be better planned, and those too went underwater today. Delhi roads were underwater, massive traffic jams were reported, the metro and other transports were hit, schools and colleges will now remain shut looking at the situation. And why has the situation emerged for Delhi? That's because the water level in the Yamuna is 3 meters above the danger level, breaching the 208-meter mark. The Solon Yamuna has flooded homes, affected public transport and prompted emergency measures as well. The Arvind Kejriwal government has urged the centre to step in and stop the water discharge from Hathni Kund barrage in Haryana, which is the main cause of the Solon Yamuna and the Delhi deluge. But the centre has said that excess water from the barrage has to be released. These are unprecedented scenes that one witnessed in the national capital as the Yamuna is swollen with water from the Hathni Kund barrage and with unprecedented rainfall that has been witnessed in Punjab, in Haryana, Himachal and Uttarakhand. And that has meant that the entire deluge in Delhi, the areas that have been affected are largely because of the excess water that is being now moved out of the barrage. Traffic was a nightmare for many as several roads, including the Outer Ring Road in Delhi, which is a very important road that in fact is normally pretty crowded. There was chaos today. Traffic was moving very slowly, and these pictures clearly are there for everyone to see. The manner in which this rickshaw puller right behind me is trying to wade through this waist-deep water is what has been the picture that has given a sense to the entire country and to Delhi specifically what the situation can become with not just the unprecedented rain situation that we are seeing, but also chaotic urban development to some extent as well. Thousands, in fact, have lost their homes in Old Delhi, Mayur Vihar and Yamuna Bazaar, where especially the slums have seen inundation and those houses going underwater. Let's quickly now get you a sense of what happened on the ground today. Our reporters were spread across Delhi, sending us these reports all through the day, wading through knee-deep and waist-deep water with their camera persons.
The iconic Red Fort, surrounded by a river. The national capital's most busy roads come to a standstill. In the worst ever Delhi floods, which have turned thousands of lives upside down. This very spot where I was reporting from yesterday with knee to waist deep water now has so much water that I can't even stand. And I have to sit in a boat. I'm sitting in an NDRF rescue boat, which is going inside to rescue people because there are several houses here. The shops were shut yesterday because the flood water entered people's houses. As you can see, all the shutters are down. Half of the shops are completely submerged. They are underwater. And this used to be the bustling monastery market once, but now it's completely underwater. As the Yamuna water entered posh Delhi bungalows and civil lines and completely submerged cars, those without proper homes were left out on the flooded streets.
सर आप यहाँ से कहीं जाएंगे नहीं, कुछ सोच रहे हैं कहीं और जाके रहें? यहीं पर रहेंगे? पानी और बढ़ेगा तो? So they don't have an option clearly. That even if the water goes up, they have to stay here.
The homeless try to make it through another day, waiting for the water to subside. As the Yamuna water, filled with garbage and health risks, even entered places of refuge.
Hanuman Mandir in Old Delhi in Kashmiri Gate, which is now completely inundated. As you can see, the temple has been shut and inside also there's water just entering. And this is also the temple premises where we are coming to you from, and there's knee-deep water inside the temple premises.
As thousands lost their homes in Old Delhi, Mayur Vihar and Yamuna Bazar, 12 teams of the NDRF rescued many.
Several people who are stranded, the NDRF is trying to rescue them. There are kids, there are elderly, there are women, all who have packed their bags, and this is how they're making their way out to the NDRF boat that we are currently sitting in. पिछले भी आपने बाढ़ देखी होंगी, आपके सास ससुर ने भी देखी होगी, इतना नहीं है। तो कल यहाँ पे पानी कितना था? क्या कल तो थोड़ा सूखा था ना?
कल पानी था ही नहीं यहाँ पे, सुबह आया 4 बजे बाद।
फ्रिज वगैरह, गद्दे, रजाई सब नीचे के नीचे ही रह गए। खाने पीने का सामान सारा नीचे ही रह गया।
और कितने रामबदन? कोई जरूरी सामान जैसे
जरूरी बस कागजात वगैरह,
जो आपकी निवेश की चीजें होंगी, ज्वेलरी होगी, ये जरूरी सामान है।
हाँ जी, वो बचा लिया।
While hundreds rescued, many are still stuck as they refuse to leave what they built all their lives. In Mayur Vihar, one of the worst affected areas, even the rescued will come back to the same flood-prone area for the lack of better options.
मजबूरी रही होगी, यमुना में रहना पड़ा।
हाँ, मजबूरी है बहुत ज़्यादा।
But while till yesterday the inundation was limited to the floodplains, today it entered the main city, flowing just 400 meters away from the Chief Minister's own house.
Nobody ever thought Delhi would see such a day. It sounds, feels and looks like I'm standing next to a river. I'm standing on a river bank, or I'm standing in the middle of a river. There are actual waves here. It feels like this is a river, but it's not. I'm standing right behind the Red Fort, which is one of the monuments that are synonymous with Delhi, one of the monuments that are held with the identity of Delhi.
With a stable water level in the Yamuna since 1 p.m, the water level is expected to recede over the coming few days. But as people took away parts of their lives, putting it all back together will be a long struggle. In New Delhi, with Tanushri Pandey and camera person Ashok Mahale, Priyanshi Sharma for NDTV.
Today on Left, Right and Centre, we'll take your voices to the government, the policy makers. As citizens struggle, their voices need to be heard. So joining us on the show, citizens of Delhi who've struggled with the inundation today. Arpitas Dayal, she lives in Bela Road Civil Lines, had to evacuate with her family, is now in Gurgaon with her family at her mother's place. Sankarsha Shukla, a student in Nehru Vihar, Pooja Narayanan, she is a resident of Raj Narayan Road Civil Lines, and Taran Puri, resident of Bela Road again. His wife and daughter were today rescued in a boat. Taran, and joining us will also be our correspondent Tanishq Punjabi, in fact, who's been out and about all day today, getting us ground reports. But first, Taran, I want to come to you because I can see that there is no current at the moment at your residence. You're sitting in candlelight there. What's the situation like?
Well, the situation actually is quite bad. We have no electricity since morning. Thankfully, we had stocked food. But yes, thankfully my wife and my daughter got rescued by the NDRF teams. They left. But the situation outside is quite bad. It's actually pitch dark outside. Absolutely no electricity since morning. We've got senior citizens at home. Let's see how we, get through this night.
I think it's a similar situation that many people are stuck in at the moment, and many who wouldn't have imagined Delhi to come to a grinding halt with this kind of deluge that we are witnessing today in some parts of the national capital. Let me go across to Tanishq Punjabi now. Tanishq, take us through the situation around you. You've been reporting all day from Mayur Vihar, where we could see inundation, some of the slums going underwater, people asking for relief material, getting none. What kind of voices have you heard all day today? All right, we don't seem to be... All right.
Extremely distressing situation here at Yamuna Vihar. This is an area which is just adjacent to Yamuna River. Now, you might not be able to see right now because it is very dark, but this area in front of you, it's completely inundated in water. It used to be dry. It's completely submerged in water. All this area was basically slum dwelling. Several thousand people used to live here, but now all of them have been evacuated. And all their stuff is completely submerged in water. Their luggage, their food items, their ration, their motorcycles, all of their stuff is submerged in the water. So I'm joined by some of these people who have been trying to get their stuff out. One relief boat has been going inside and taking out the luggage. I'll just speak to the first person here. Sir, आपका नाम? रमेश जी, तो आपका क्या फंसा हुआ है अंदर?
सारे सामान फंसे हैं, बाइक भी फंसी है, खाने पीने के सारे सामान, राशन है, सारे कुछ। जो नाव वाले हों, आज सुबह से हम खड़े हैं लेकिन कोई सुन नहीं रहा जी। कोई किसी का ला रहा, कोई किसी का ला रहा, पैसे दे के।
तो आप क्या करते हैं पहले बताइए?
माली काम करते हैं, पेड़ पौधे के जी।
आप माली का काम करते हैं। तो आपकी जो बाइक थी वो कितने रुपए की थी, कितनी मेहनत से ली थी और वो अभी कितनी देर
हम ऐसे पैसे जुटा के 20,000 दे के
अच्छा
धीरे धीरे करके किस्तों में लिया हूँ।
कितने की बाइक ली आपने?
ये 80,000, 90,000 तक हमारा पड़ गया है।
अच्छा,
रिक्शा सिटी टीवी।
और आपका बाकी का सामान?
बाकी तो बहुत खाने घरेलू सामान बहुत कुछ होता है जी। ऐसे नहीं कि घर में तो हर एक चीज होता है जी। कुछ नहीं ला पाए रात, यहाँ तक कि हम नमक भी नहीं ले आ पाए।
अपने नमक तक नहीं ला पाया। So Maha, as you heard him.
All right, Tanish Punjabi there getting us voices from the ground of the poorest of the poor who've lost all their belongings now in this deluge. How are they going to cope with the situation? At the moment, they have no idea how they are going to get through tonight. Forget about the next few days. Let me go across to Arpita now. Arpita, you've also been through a bad experience today. Take us through what you witnessed all through the day, and you had to evacuate and go to your mother's place. Yes. What was it exactly like close to your residence?
So we woke up normally. It was a normal day. We had a sense of what's going on. So there were the flood levels that were increasing, and the news coming of water coming on the ring roads. But we had no idea that within 2 hours, the water level outside our house will go up to almost up to 15 feet. And it was one of the most unnerving experiences I think that I've ever had in the city. And luckily the house itself is built on a high plinth, so the water did not get into the house. But we were going out and stepping into the access road or the entry gate to the house, which was completely submerged in water. So we were like marooned on an island, and we could not take our cars out. We could not walk out. We could not even swim out. It was a very bad situation. And at around 1 o'clock, we realized that when the electricity and the water supply had also been shut down, we realized that there is nothing left for us to do but to leave the house and quickly evacuate from the neighbor's gate, which was at a slightly elevated platform. And so we packed our bags, literally packed our lives in 15 minutes together. And we thought that we need to just leave. And of course, many thoughts were coming in our mind. What are we leaving behind? The elders in the house were not ready to leave the house because they have a bigger sense of attachment to the house, and they were just not ready to leave the house. But we somehow managed, picked up our pet dogs, and we just picked up our stuff and just evacuated the house to the nearby family members which we have.
Right. So we must explain to our viewers that this, of course, is an unprecedented situation. We are seeing unprecedented rainfall, 62% rainfall above normal that has been received in northwest India, which has in fact led to this accumulation of water in the Hathni Kund barrage, which has to be released because the design of the dam, if it gets weakened because of excess water, that is a risk that cannot be taken. However, one also needs to question the urbanization, the rampant urbanization, where we are building houses on the floodplains as well. Where does the water go? The water has no outlet to go, and that is why we see this kind of deluge that Delhi is witnessing today. Sankarsha Shukla, I want to come to you because I understand that the situation for a student gets even worse. Many of the students in Delhi are living all by themselves. They are alone under these circumstances. As Arpita was pointing out, that even as a family, they were unnerved. What is it that students have been facing?
मैम, यहाँ पर आप देखें तो सारी नालियां जो भी नेहरू विहार के किनारे की हैं सारी भर चुकी हैं। नालियों का पानी घरों के अंदर जा रहा है। ग्राउंड फ्लोर वाले स्टूडेंट की तो सिचुएशन और भी खराब है, और लगातार यमुना का पानी छोड़ा जा रहा है। तो नेहरू विहार के बगल में एक नाला है, वहां का भी जल स्तर लगातार बढ़ता जा रहा है। तो अब मतलब झुंड के झुंड स्टूडेंट्स नाले के किनारे खड़े हैं। उनको इस बात का डर है कि कहीं नाले का पानी ओवरफ्लो होकर घरों में ना आने लगे। और इसके अलावा जितने भी हमारे यहाँ के पार्क हैं वो सारे पार्क पिछले 4-5 दिनों से भरे हुए हैं। उसमें मच्छर लगातार पनप रहे हैं। आस पड़ोस के कई सारे जो पानी के मौसम में कीड़े निकल आते हैं वो सभी निकल आए हैं। और इसके अलावा हम लोगों को ये भी डर है कि कहीं जो भी जल जनित बीमारियां होती हैं, हैजा, कालरा, टाइफाइड वगैरह ना हो जाए। और कई सारे स्टूडेंट्स को तो उनके पेरेंट्स लगातार फोन कर रहे हैं कि आप घर चले आइए। यहाँ पे सिचुएशन बहुत ज्यादा पैनिक है। कोचिंग्स भी बंद कर दी गई हैं। आज सारी कोचिंग्स बंद कर दी गई। और लगभग मुखर्जी नगर से लेके आप नेहरू विहार, गांधी विहार, वजीराबाद कहीं पे भी जाएंगे तो चारों ओर पानी ही पानी भरा हुआ है। और स्टूडेंट तो सभी पैनिक हैं। हम लोग बेसिकली इसलिए भी ज्यादा डरे हुए हैं क्योंकि डेमोक्रेसी में उनकी आवाज ज्यादा बुलंद होती है जो वहां का लोकल वोटर होता है। हम ना तो यहाँ की सरकार के लिए वोटर हैं, और तो इसलिए ना ही सरकार ध्यान दे रही है। जोसेफ स्मिथ जूनियर का एक कोट है कि नोवा केम बिफोर द फ्लड, आई हैव कम बिफोर द फायर। तो अभी हमारी जिंदगी में कोई ऐसा नोवा नहीं दिख रहा है कि जो हम लोगों को इस भीषण बाढ़ की विभीषिका से बचाने आए।
And a very important point that Sankarsha has made is with regards to vector-borne, waterborne diseases. Now, that's also something that needs to be taken care of. Let me go across to Pooja now. Pooja, what is it that you witnessed today, and has something like this, even close to this, ever happened in your memory?
So, I have lived in civil lines all my life, and all my family and all our extended family also lives in the same neighborhood of between 2 or 3 streets. The last big flood that everyone remembers was the year that I was born, which was in 1978. And even that, I think, was not as bad as this. There are the amount of water which is filling up in the lower lying areas on Bela Road, in people's basements, some of the shops that open onto Bela Road. It is insane that no structure all along that stretch has actually been designed to take that kind of water. So as a resident and also as an architect, one of the things that you see which is terrifying is the amount of structural damage that these buildings are very likely to face in terms of structural failure, in terms of waterproofing failure, in terms of the electrical systems getting water in them and the danger of electrocution. It is very, very real. You know, so one of the immediate problems that everybody faces is, you know, how do I get out of my house? How does my car move? But these are longer term problems that a lot of buildings will face. And depending on how, well their structure has been designed, some of this can be very imminent and some of this can be a more longer term problem. So, it has been a very difficult day, both personally and also as a professional, looking at the problems that, that we can foresee in the neighborhood. It has been a really, really tough day.
And Pooja,
I am admin of 2 groups in civil lines. One is of younger mothers and one is of older residents of civil lines. And, the kind of images that we've been seeing all day and the kind of very real problems that people are talking about. So we've had no electricity since 10 a.m. today. And people are trying to find out about renting generators because, these days a lot of people don't own generators. In civil lines, we don't have a problem of power cuts very often. So people have inverters. And, people are finding out that you can rent a generator for 81,000 rupees a day. So it's absolutely out there. I mean, all kinds of madness is going on.
People are also trying to make a killing during this tragic situation that Delhi is witnessing at the moment. It's pretty unfortunate there. But Taran, this kind of deluge in an area which is considered one of the posh areas in the city, close to the Chief Minister's residence, barely 500 meters away from his residence, this kind of inundation that has been witnessed today in North Delhi specifically. What does it speak about the city? And as citizens, have we all failed in our duty as well, that we do not consider civic issues of this nature ones that we should be voting governments in and out of?
You know, the surprising part is the government must have known that this is about to happen. The citizens were aware, but the governments obviously were aware much before us that this was about. So absolutely no arrangements have been done. I mean, people knew, I mean, what kind of a century are we living in when, you know, these are floods which are happening and there is absolutely darkness. It's like war-like situation outside. I can't see anything on the roads. The roads are pitch black, pitch empty. Yes, as citizens also we have failed because there are things, I mean, I see, there are, by the way, cars swinging outside my house. I've never seen this. I've seen this in movies. Never thought that I would be seeing this in my real life. Absolutely. And this is one of the poshest areas in Delhi. And if this is happening to our area, I can't even begin to imagine what's happening to the low-lying areas outside. It's unimaginable. And it's also a security hazard. I'm very concerned about myself, about my family, because I don't see any security on the roads. And these are the days when incidents happen. I hope government is listening and they plan to do something on the security front as well.
Sankarsha, I want to come back to you and we have the last couple of minutes left. तो आपसे मैं ये गुजारिश करूंगी कि ब्रीफ में अपना आंसर दें. अभी इस वक्त एक स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी की तरफ से आप सरकार से क्या गुहार लगाएंगे?
मैम, सबसे पहले तो हमें कोई भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल वहां पे दिखता ही नहीं है स्टूडेंट एरिया के आसपास, क्योंकि आप जैसे जो नेहरू विहार जहां पे मैं रहता हूं वहां के बगल के आप नाले को देखेंगे तो वहां पे लगातार पानी छोड़ा ही जा रहा है और सुबह से वहां पर करीब सैकड़ों की संख्या में स्टूडेंट नाले के बगल में खड़े हुए हैं. मतलब भगवान न करे कोई ऐसी कैजुअलिटी हो जाए, लेकिन सभी वहां पे कई सारे तो वहां पे सेल्फी ले रहे हैं, कई लोग वहां पे परेशान है, वीडियो कॉल कर करके अपने घर में लगातार दिखा रहे हैं. तो मेरी यही गुजारिश है कि सबसे पहले एटलीस्ट कम से कम उस नाले में तो पानी छोड़ना बंद ही करें और उसके अलावा जो हमारे जो भी गलियां भर गई हैं और जो नालियां भरी हैं उनकी सफाई कर दें और जो पार्क हैं उसमें पिछले लगभग 4-5 दिनों से लगातार पानी भरा ही है. आप वहां पे देखेंगे कि मच्छर हो गए हैं, कीड़े हो गए हैं और भी यही मच्छर मलेरिया फैलाएंगे, डेंगू करेंगे. तो स्पेशली स्टूडेंट्स की तो कोई नहीं सुन रहा है. तो मैं गवर्नमेंट से यही कहूंगा कि एक बार हम लोगों की भी सुने, और क्योंकि लगातार हमारे पेरेंट्स प्रेशर बना रहे हैं कि आप घर चले आओ, पढ़ाई वढ़ाई होती रहेगी लेकिन जान है तो जहान है.
जी बिल्कुल, but what we've also seen is that many trains have got cancelled. Some of them have also in fact been diverted from the Old Delhi railway station to other railway stations, considering that passengers could not even reach the train station. Many thanks to all of you for joining us here on the show, sharing your plight with us, and we do hope that the government, the policy makers are watching this and hearing the voices of the citizens of Delhi. But let's now try and understand why is the Yamuna submerging large parts of North and East Delhi. It's because of the record water flowing in the river from heavy rain in North India, in Himachal and Uttarakhand to be specific, and the encroachment on the floodplains as well.
Unprecedented floods in Delhi, houses submerged in many parts, lives and livelihoods destroyed. The images from the national capital have shocked the country. So why is Delhi seeing such unseen flooding? This is Delhi, and this is the Yamuna River. The river runs a course of 22 kilometers through Delhi between Pala in the north and Jaipur in the south. Monastery Market, civil lines, these low-lying areas have been worst hit as the Yamuna breached the danger mark this week. And it's not just the areas close to the river that have suffered this time. Even Ring Road, that's the lifeline of Delhi, areas like civil lines that houses several VIPs have been inundated by raging and rising waters. Delhi saw its worst floods in 1978 when the Yamuna breached the 207-meter mark. This year, it's been worse. There are 10 embankments along the river to save the capital from such floods. Rural marginal embankment from Pala to Wazirabad, Jagatpur Bandh from Jagatpur to upstream of Wazirabad Barrage, Yamuna Bazar Bandh upstream of Old Railway Bridge, Yamuna Bazar Wall, Madanpur Khadar near Okhla, left forward Bandh which runs from the Delhi-Uttar Pradesh border up to Wazirabad, Shahadra Marginal from Wazirabad to Old Delhi Railway Bridge, left marginal Bandh from Old Railway Bridge to Noida, Pa House Bandh, Mughal Bandh. These bandhs prevent its waters from flooding the capital when Yamuna breaches its danger mark of 204.83 meters. But these safeguards failed as water rose to unprecedented 208 meters in the Yamuna. So why is the Yamuna seeing such high levels of water? On July 8th and 9th, Delhi received its heaviest rain in over 4 decades. But it didn't only rain in Delhi. Most parts in the north got heavy rain. This is Hatnikund Barrage in Haryana. As it exceeded its water retention capacity due to heavy rain in the hills, water was released into the Yamuna, as it is normally done every monsoon. Over 1 lakh cusecs of water was released per hour from the barrage, causing havoc in the capital. The Delhi government asked the centre to not allow any more discharge. But the Central Water Authority says that the barrage has limited capacity and excess water has to be released downstream. But water from the barrage into the Yamuna is only one part of the problem. Experts point out unbridled construction on the Yamuna floodplains, restricting area for the river to stretch itself. A number of unauthorized colonies and also mega structures dot the Yamuna bed in the capital. In Jaipur extension area, buildings are coming up just 500 meters from the river banks.
Now, the ring road itself is actually built on the Yamuna river bed. The entire floodplain has been under attack right from, say 2 decades. There has been constant pressure on the floodplain to be developed. Lots of infrastructure has now been built. Lots of flyovers and ring road extensions, etc. have been built. Many more bridges have been built across the river, all of them slowing down the flow of water.
Bureau Report, NDTV.
With that, we're taking a very quick break, but we'll keep a close eye on the situation in Delhi and keep you updated. Stay with us.